Fast forward, yini como el chani so AGH Politics Avenue. Podcasters are training books make headlines. Ene jemre na yedi bi exomo ewa ni dim ya humbraxi mo se ene edi kanya unia bese se obi subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell so share na ave afoforo so ensa enka eye nsemu yibi. But as nyame show say otimi aye ni nyina ede amai eya na wali comment constructively under the comment section. Eni di ma mame emfa inra political highways ni muna ejedema enye asem koto akwa ni nyina se eye Kevin Taylor ene mino kasei otimi abo ebra eye vetting committee dim na Afenyo Markins amane ho antono kra osusu ija edi egunu so a tokonu ono so wafaya ne pa yi a nsema hodo wa kan de onua ka kumbusi ejeno kwaku enuma ene bisan edi ebawura eye Kevin Taylor asoye na yahwe ne yekọ ene de ba on last silence television. So at this point in time yemo wan sibinim na yahwe ne yekọ ene de ba AGH Politics Avenue.
As we are going inside, let's go in. MPP for and a vetting of a acting Chief Justice Mr. Bawumia say you better to know na you to know we are na Parliament. Akotena se adwene ho ahwe si bi omtoto na no say odim ana say esese ye woni chi ema no koye Chief Justice na sebio yamano eye nod no ana green light no ana Parliament eyipuma kwemu ama Mr. Bawumia abeye the substantive Chief Justice of Ghana. Now, when it comes to vetting, and when it comes to vetting people who are going to be in higher authority or who are going to lead institutions that basically your constitutional we have three arms of government. We have the legislature, that is what we call parliament. We have the executive, that is what we call the presidency, and then we have the judiciary, which is led by the Chief Justice. Inti, vetting somebody to be the head of our judiciary is a big deal. And the reason why I say it's a big deal, and I say, the reason why I say it's a big deal, and I say, you are picking somebody to lead the legal brain of Ghana, to lead your court, to lead the discipline in all our courts, to lead the fight against corruption in all our courts, the judiciary, the judicial services. Obia or Ghana, Sebio judiciary, as you are electing or you are vetting somebody to be the head. You use somebody to make sure say the confidence in our judiciary, Akuffo, that person will represent a new phase of the judiciary. So it is not just like getting somebody to go sit there. There are so many judges in Ghana who can be Chief Justice, but you need somebody with some unique qualities, unique experience. You need somebody you believe, say, when the country as a nation, obia ewuna nenimye nyama sebio ne huni kambia sa nipa ne de obetumi de gidie a friend confidence asaba ye judiciary and the din se Ghana for ebeji court bia judge bia judicial services ni bia edi. Inti, this is a big deal. This is not for kids. This is not a child's play. You see, the man we are going to vet, we are vetting a man who has seen all political parties, and I say all regimes from 1992, time I hear constitution. President Bia Wabatna Subiano, every regime Biano, he was there. He has witnessed it. So this is not like a young judge or a young lawyer we are forcing onto the Supreme Court. No. This is somebody who has been part of the judiciary since its inception. Onim the in and out of the judiciary. And such a day is a day. We need to get fine brains. We need to get people who will not allow politics to cloud their foolishness. We will need people, irrespective of where their political affiliation points to, they will look at a person sitting there and be like, you know what, I need to ask questions that at the end of the day, Ghana phobe who say, I want this man to represent the office that he's going to. So it is not politics as usual vetting. It is not, oh, this is going to be a minister. He's going to this sports minister. He's going to communication minister. He's going to be this minister. So no, this is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. And what makes it more serious than they say, the man sitting in front of every single person, this is a man who has the experience. So before you sit before the man, you need to understand and say, when you raise issues of allegations without substantiating it, that man already understands that word. And he already knows where you are heading. Before you raise any speculative thing, anything speculative, you need to understand, say, you are sitting before a man who has gone through the mill, who understands speculations, who understands allegations, who understands statement based on fact, who understands you going against rules of engagement. So you are not going to just interview a man who does not know his left from right. You are going to interview a man who is basically a dictionary when it comes to law in Ghana, when it comes to protecting of the judiciary in Ghana. So it is not politics as usual. It is not being combative. It is not being showing your emotions and your sympathetic side to somebody. It goes beyond personal attacks. It goes beyond personal affiliations. It goes beyond romance with other people. It goes beyond your affair with other people. It is strictly about business, what the judiciary stands for. So you're questioning. If you are questioning this man, if you are ready to question this man, you need to understand, say, you are questioning this man as an ignorant person when it comes to the law. Because whether you like it or not, he's sitting in front of you as the creme de la creme who has gone through the law, understanding it and doing what? Interpreting it. And see, some people sometimes take everything to be the same. It is not. The verdict of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, Mr. Bafubon, it is a new beginning for the judiciary. Because for a long time, the judiciary, for some time now, that respect, that fear, I'm not saying fear, that respect we all had for the judiciary, we saw how it was tainted. We saw how it was discolored. We saw how the uniqueness of the judiciary was taken over by political actors. So we are getting into an era whereby we are trying to see, say, you bet to me, I'm making sure, say, the judiciary will come back to that judiciary we have always respected and believed in. Now, when somebody says, say, the judiciary is corrupt, or before somebody will say, the judiciary of Ghana, or the judiciary, right now the judiciary not say, oh, we don't have confidence in the judiciary, one or two things, and it all starts from the top. Nana Danko Akuffo's government, on Bawumia lidi abaino, when people started complaining about the bad governance we were experiencing, it started from Akuffo and Bawumia. Bawumia represented the economy. Akuffo represented day-to-day governance. Now we saw, say, the day-to-day governance and the managing of the economy, the two at the end of the day were crumbling. Nobody was giving us answers about how governance was being drained, how we were not being led by people who knew what they were doing. And secondly, people were asking questions about why the economy was dipping and dipping and dipping, and people were struggling. So these two questions were not being answered. So Ghanaians were looking at the head. Now, for somebody to criticize the judiciary, it will depend. The only way or the only thing that will make somebody criticize the judiciary is when the posture of the leader of the judiciary in Ghana is seen as very political. Now, let me explain this. The posture of the Chief Justice in every country, and let me limit it to Ghana. If the posture is political, the person who is the head of the judicial services, if his posture is not a posture that projects neutrality, automatically the judiciary that is his roots automatically becomes tainted. So you can have good judges, you can have a good judicial system, you can have a good court system, but when the leader of the court, the judiciary, the posture is very political, very one way, very, very corrupt, what happens? And they say the posture of the leadership and the judge, the judiciary. And you see, it was so easy for Ghanaians to see, say, or to imply, say, the judiciary and the Akuffo led by Madam Tokonu was very political because of the posture of Tokonu. And when we say posture, it is not about the way they sit. It is not about the way they move their body. It is not about the way they talk. It's their actions in their deliberation or when they are working or delivering. Into how are they able? How they approach their omujuma, and then the posture of the leader. Now you see, Enini Yabua was the Chief Justice before Tokoni took over. The kind of resentment, the kind of anger, the kind of satisfaction Ghanaians had towards Tokonu's leadership as the CJ, it wasn't the same as Enini Yabua. Even though some people knew that Enini Yabua, at the end of the day, majority of people knew, say, he was affiliated to the NPP, but at least his posture. Enini Yabua maintained a posture that was very difficult for anybody to say he is an in and out political judge. If there's anything I'll give to Enini Yabua, that is what I'll give to him. Even though we knew he was doing the bidding for the NPP, he is an in and out NPP judge. His posture was always straight, and it made it difficult for people to be like, say, we don't want to respect the court again because the leader of Ghana court, and the judiciary head, his posture is bad. Madam Tokonu, basically, her posture was pure political. It was purely political, and you did not need to read her for long to know, say, she was doing the bidding of a politician or doing the bidding for the president of the day. Now, how did that affect the judiciary? At a point, we Ghanaians knew, say, we had issues with our judges, some of our judges. Now, until Tokonu took over, we got to that point who say, Madam Tokonu basically wasn't working as a Chief Justice. Madam Tokonu was basically taking instructions from the executive, and as low as going to Parliament to take instructions from a 46-year-old boy to make it her view when it comes to exercising her duties as the Chief Justice. So a lot of Ghanaians started asking, now court not say, and when people were saying, say court not say, the court is corrupt, people were not referring to individual lawyers, or judges, or people who work with the judiciary. People were referring to the head of the judiciary. Under Akuffo Addo Tokonu ba the judiciary did not have any better name. They were not attractive. Ghanaians didn't want to have anything to do with the judiciary because Tokonu's posture was so bad, it was so tainted, Tokonu was so political, and my Ghana for psychologically, who Judge Bia say Judge Bia, Sebio, with all due respect, is a liar. Judge Bia is political. Judge Bia basically is not doing the right thing. It trickled down. It came all the way down to the point whereby Tokonu was now suggesting judges who we all knew that they were not even qualified to be Supreme Court judges. It got to a point whereby a whole Tokonu suggested or suggested her secretary, her personal judicial secretary to the president to make her a Supreme Court judge. We got to the point whereby we saw Tokonu in less than 24 hours take decisions on proceedings in Parliament without hearing all the part involved in the issue that was brought to her in Parliament. So people now started asking, Adentina court na say, Adentina say ano yentuminji court nindi, Adentina say court na say, Adentina say ano court na say MPP for court. The reason why we all came to that conclusion was because the posture of the leader, the posture of Tokonu, the way she did her things, when it came to executing her duties, how she aligned herself, how she at the end of the day made sure, say, a case that is supposed to have a free hearing platform, how she was quick to take sides. Afenyo Markins was able to go to Tokonu in less than 10 minutes or 1 hour to make sure a case is called in court. That is where, when we talk about posture, means. Now, we are talking about Mr. Bafo Boni. And from the time Yatesenko for insinuating Ekikansem about we don't like Bafo Boni, and most of them are coming from the MPP side, you know. I've not seen or heard or read any article as suggests to say Mr. Bafo Boni is a corrupt judge. Mr. Bafo Boni is opposite to anything that makes somebody qualified to be the Chief Justice. Now, it shows clearly, say, the man is qualified. It is just that some people feel, say, their party candidate, their party member was taken out of her position in a way they don't like. So they will find every single means to make it look like, say, Mr. Bafo Boni does not qualify or is not qualified or is not supposed to be the Chief Justice of Ghana. So there are two different arguments here. One side feel very aggrieved. They feel very angry because someone they see as their party member, someone they see as doing their bidding for them, a former Chief Justice they saw as one of them, the way and manner she was kicked out, which they believe they saw nothing wrong with, you know. They have always had an issue with that, and that they believe is that because they never liked the way she was kicked out, you know, everything about Bafo Boni should never be considered as legitimate. And this also MPP for now, they are not able to question Bafo Boni's legitimacy. They are not able to question his integrity. They are not able to question how he has been able to be selfless as a judge from 92. While witnessing all the regimes, they have not been able to raise any issue of corruption against him. All that they are saying is that Madam Tokonu is our member. Madam Tokonu is our friend. The former Chief Justice is one of us. Why did she leave that office? We don't agree. Even if she is wrong, we are still supposed to keep her on top of the judiciary. So the MP for argument in Yan say, Tokonu nyakra, Tokonu abokrono, Tokonu ibibina emfa kwemukra. We as Ghanaians, we have to keep her because to them, Tokonu boneno enye bone maomo. They don't see Tokonu's sin as a sin because Tokonu is one of them. Into the argument these people are making, Afenyo Markins and then the battalions, their argument was that why have you taken out our partner, our friend, our colleague, our MPP judge? They were not even fighting for integrity. They were not even trying to say, let us grill Bafo Boni and see, say, he, at the end of the day, he's corrupt free. Let us grill Bafo Boni and see, say, he has the intellectual know-how to be the Chief Justice. They did not even look at the part, say, let us grill Bafo Boni and see, say, if he's given that position, he will not be political. He will not be partisan. They have forgotten about their principles, the reason why they have been made to sit on the committee. What they are more concerned about is that why have you hurt our darling girl? Why have you sacked our mother? Why have you made sure Osono Maame has been kicked out of the office? The Bonina Osono Maame Dieno, the sins of Tokonu to the MPP is never a sin. But to every single Ghanaian, it's a sin. But to them, led by Afenyo Markins, it is never a sin. That is why I started this my tour by telling you, say, when we talk about the posture of the leader of the judiciary, it is very vital to sustaining the credibility and integrity of your judiciary. Because when the person leading the judiciary, the posture not yet the best posture, it affects the root. It goes down to affect the judges. It goes down to affect proceedings. It goes down to affect the integrity of the judiciary as a whole. But then, from what we witnessed today, Mr. Bafo Boni has shown, say, when it comes to being confident, knowing the law, having the integrity, being corrupt-free judge, somebody who has a track record, we witnessed that today. But the other people never cared about that because obviously we made the Chief Justice. Why don't you care about if that person can be a good Chief Justice? Why do you care about a former Chief Justice who at the end of the day went through the process? Tokonu herself never said she wasn't given the due process. She went through the due process. So if even you feel say Osono Maame or you're part of your party, no, say moon say now why don't you try and grill Boni? They have nothing on Boni. They know Boni is overqualified. They know Boni is somebody who can do the job more than their mother Tokonu. They know say Boni passed this test a long time ago. Now, because they cannot stand Bonnie, because they know when it comes to pound for pound, they cannot ask Bonnie any question that he will not be able to answer. They try to divert their attention by protecting their political judge, who is Tokono. And the highest form of foolishness from this 46-year-old boy who is leading a group of old men with gray hair in their anus, fooling themselves and not allowing proceedings to go on. What we all witnessed today on TV, it should tell us one thing. The NPP is a political party filled with ignorant fools led by a young, arrogant, selfish ingrate who thinks everything about parliament, politics is supposed to be combative. That is the childishness in this political criminal. The reason why I call him a political criminal is because he has a criminal case on the desk of the Attorney General. Now you understand. What they did today, it has not changed anything. Ghanaians have come to see the difference between a party that basically follows unnecessary arguments, a party that ends up omudi enkwara they think say every day is a fight, every day is a mad fight, every day let's wash our anus in public, every day it should be about us. This boy Afenyo Markins, he uses the NPP.
Way a and Semahodo, Timicos or Chananoso, Mamma so Jimre Oha, that's an body and Eddie Adumbi Edumania. A best sign about Remunea Summa Functions of Politics.